YouTube, it's your boy, Sean Matrai, here with the how to play, oh my gosh, wait on this, how to play Burning Abyss guide. So, if you do not know how to play Burning Abyss, I am here to help. I am going to teach you the highly technical stuff, as well as, hold on, let me lower the volume, the very easy stuff. Now, we reached KOG day one again, alright? So, it was a very easy KOG climb for us. I'm going to tell you the whole complexity of the deck, alright? So, we're going to go over each individual card, what it does, how to use it correctly, and yeah, alright? So, the main thing you need to know about Burning Abyss is there are many different monsters in the deck. Burning Abyss monsters, I should say. All of your Burning Abyss monsters have two effects. One effect that triggers when they're sent to the graveyard, and another effect that allows you to special summon from the hand, as long as you control A, no spell and trap cards, B, have not used the other effect that you would use in Burning Abyss, the other Burning Abyss, whatever monster's effect is. Alright? So, for example, a monster such as Skarm would have an effect that would allow you to add Burning Abyss in the end phase when it's sent from anywhere to the graveyard. But you can't use that effect if you had special summoned itself from the hand, or vice versa. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to go over each Burning Abyss's effect, but we're only going to go over what they do differently. So I'm going to fly through this really fast. Know that every Burning Abyss, like I said, has the same effect. They can special summon themselves from the hand if you control no spell or traps. Alright, so every Burning Abyss has that. So there's no need to go over, repeat myself 100 times. So I'm going to go over their differences. Ready? Skarm adds a Burning Abyss from the hand in the end phase. Seer revives a Burning Abyss from the graveyard. Farfa banishes the monster that your opponent controls. It targets. Libic special summons a Burning Abyss, a dark level 3 Dark Fiend from the hand, but its effects are negated. It can be any Dark Fiend. Alec allows you to negate a monster's effect. It targets. Rubik allows you to just special summon itself. It only has one effect. It's a tuner, though. Barbar has the effect that it banishes up to 3 BAs from the graveyard, not including itself, and it does 150 damage for each. Good way to burn your opponent out. Cognic can send a BA spell or trap to the graveyard from your deck, and Dragi at the very last allows us to stack a BA on top of her deck. Alright? So those are the ones that you need to know. However, the most important ones are Skarm, Farfa, Seer, Alex, pretty important, and Rubik. Alright? Those are the most important ones. Alongside that, we run Tour Guide, which allows us on normal summon to summon a level 3 Fiend monster from our deck. So perfect to help us exceed summon, extend our plays. And we have Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which allows us to, when sent to the graveyard, send any level and send any Fiend monster from your deck to the grave. That could be any Fiend. That could include Infernoids, which are coming out in a bit. Which, if you missed my discussion on it, then you will know in that portion that you can do that as well. Also, Rhino has the effect that, while it's on the field, Fiend monsters cannot be destroyed by their own card effects, except for Rhino Warrior. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's great. You can still special summon your BAs anyway. Oh, the one thing I didn't go over in a very crucial detail about Burning Abyss, and I can't believe I missed it, is that if you have a monster that is not a Burning Abyss monster on your field, they automatically die. They just blow up. That's why it's very important that you keep all BAs on the field. And Rhino, even though it is not a BA, neither is Tour Guide, Rhino protects them with its own effect. Like I said, if it protects all the Fiend monsters you have on the field, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while Rhino's out. And Tour Guide in itself negates the effects of the Fiend summoned for the deck, so your Burning Abyss will be negated. Awesome. Now, the last card in our deck is Dark Eruption. This allows you to target one one dark monster with 1500 less attack in your graveyard and you add to your hand. This can include Tour Guide, this can include Skarn, this can include Farfa, Rubik. Basically anything in the deck but Seer or Barbar. You can add back to your hand, which is really, really useful, especially recycling Farfa. And you'll see why. And Tour Guide. Alright, but you cannot add Rhino. Rhino is an Earth. Alright, anyway, on to the extra deck monsters. Now, you're probably going to ask me, where's the MST? Where's the Tretch? Where's the Needle Sealing? Warning Point? Karma Cut? We do not run text in this deck. I'm going to link you to my boy, Steven Freshy. He also has a Twitch channel as well and a YouTube. Please, please, please go follow him. Go subscribe to his channel as well as my own. Steven is a BA god. He won the meta frequently with them. He has done amazing accomplishments. Got 216 global with them. Another Burning Abyss god. He will teach you everything you need to know. And me, myself, I've gotten top 4 in the Japan Meta Weekly with Burning Abyss, a top 16 in the Meta Weekly. And I have gotten 270th global with them. So we were both very close in the KC Cup to top 128 in the global. So if you want to see us play this in Stage 2, you want to see me test this in Stage 1, make sure you are followed, okay? Please, follow me and my boy, and subscribe to our channels. Thank you. Anyway, going on to the extra deck monsters, and why do we run no text? So if you're wondering why, but don't you lose the back row. The only time you want to run MST in the main deck is when Book of Moon is a problem, because Book is the biggest problem because it can end your turn instantly. However, with Book not being a big issue, the main thing you want to do is focus on running names, because we can play through Crackdown, Compulse, all those back rows, Needle Sealing, whatever. The main problem is, and always has been, Book of Moon. So there's really no reason to main MST in this meta, honestly, in my opinion. I'd rather just have names, because it's going to make our turn 2 better. Alright? And our turn 1, and I'll show you. It allows us to go full combo. Now, the extra deck, we run 2 Virgil. So, if you don't know what Virgil is, Virgil's your synchro monster. It takes a tuner and a non-tuner, generic, to make level 6, light. And you can make this with Rubik. Rubik is your tuner. That's why it's very important, as I said. You can only control 1 Virgil Rockstar in Burning Abyss. Once per turn, soft. Now, when you have that once per turn with a semicolon, that means it's a soft once per turn. Meaning that you could use its effect as many times as you could summon Virgil on the field again and again. One popular way to do this is to use Tour Guide, go into Rhino or Seer, and we use Virgil's effect. Then we go detach Rhino, break sword, pop, back row, and our Virgil, and then we dump Seer, and Seer revives Virgil, and we can do it again. So that's a very common way. You also draw a card. So also when Virgil is destroyed by battle or card effect that's at the graveyard, does not need to be your opponent's. You can target one, you get to draw a card from your deck. Not target. You get to draw a card from your deck. So very, very useful in that regard. Alright, so it spins back things. Okay, and to go over the other effect, I don't know if I did because I was rushing through this. Virgil has the effect that you can discard a Burning Abyss card, then target 1 card your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and then spin it back in the deck. Against Necros, a really good way to OTK them is if they just go Brio and pass, you can go into Virgil, spin that Brio back, and then they have nothing to use with Valkyries. If you go up against Salamangreat, it's a very good card to put on the beard turn 1. I'm going to show you in the practice tools how you want to optimally set up your field. Alright, so we're going to go over this. Don't worry about it. I'm here for you. Alright, so that's what Virgil does, and it is very good, and we run 2 of it. Next is your main beat stick, Dante Travel in the Burning Abyss, and you want to run 3. This card's great for the grind, this card grinds it out, and this card just gives you a ton of resources and helps you ignite your plays. So Dante is a rank 3 Exceed, takes 2 level 3s, once per turn, soft. Again, you can use this many times as you can summon Dante. Detach an Exceed material and choose a number from 1 to 3. And you get to mill that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. And then, until the end of the turn, this card gains 500 attack for each Also, when this attacks, it goes to defense position. And when Dante is sent to the graveyard, anyway, extra deck, monster zone, whatever, you get to target one Burning Abyss card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So a great way to do this is when you detach off Beatrice, you get its effect. When it's sent to the graveyard naturally, you get its effect. It's just really, really, really good. And Seer loops both of your Dante and your Virgil, which makes it even better. So really, really good. Another thing you need to know is Dante mills for cost. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you mill a Farfa off Dante, right? Your opponent then has the opportunity to chain DD Crow in response to Dante's effect, because once you mill, you're still applying Dante's effect. See, the cost for Dante is right after the semicolon. Both after the colon, but before the semicolon. So the effect to mill is a cost, but the effect to gain the attack is the actual effect. So during the cost portion of the effect, your opponent can respond to the cost and activate Crow and banish whatever you mill. So if they mill for Dante, they have to chain right there, but they can Crow, banish your Rhino, Farfa, Seer, whatever they want to hit there. So be careful if your opponent has a Crow. Alright? But Dante, really, really good. You play 3 of it. Alright? You make it with literally any 2 monsters in the deck. Super easy to summon. Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, is a rank 6. Now you're always like, hold up. Do I overlay 2 Virgils to summon this? You can only have 1 Virgil in the field. And no, you do not do that. Beatrice is summoned very easily. And it's just by discarding a Burning Abyss monster and overlaying Dante. That's it. And once you overlay it, you get these effects. Next turn, now you can't use its effects on the turn it's summoned if you're using Dante. If you go about it naturally and you use this in something like Drytron, you can, but that's, or Virtual World, but it's here or there. If summoned this way, you can't activate its effects this turn to mill. However, the turn after that, you get the effect of once returned, you detach a material, and you get to send any card from your deck to your graveyard. Super powerful. Dumps Rhino. It dumps Farfa. Any Burning Abyss you want in the deck, it'll dump. Very, very powerful. You can dump Kite Rod if you play it. It's just really, really powerful. Also, if that isn't enough, if this card in your possession would be destroyed by battle card effect, you could special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So, you can summon Virgil. You can summon Dante Pilgrim, but we don't have that. You can summon Dante. Yeah, so, really strong. However, if you do summon a Burning Abyss monster this way, it cannot be revived because it was not summoned properly. Keep that in mind. So if you summon Dante this way, it cannot be revived. Virgil, same. That's why you want to summon it, hard summon it properly. Okay, so that's very important to understand. But Beatrice, really good. And you don't need 3. In all the years of playing this, I've rarely ever felt the need to run 3. But you definitely want to play 3 Dante. Next, we run Breaksword, which is just 2 level 3s. And it gets to pop a card in the field. This is really good against Dark Magician, specifically because you want to get rid of Circle. I've considered briefly taking out 1 Virgil and playing a second copy of this, just because Dark Magician, if it gets played heavily, it's really a tough matchup for BA, and having a second Breaksword can really be beneficial. So, yeah, that's a consideration. But, yeah, Virgil gets very important in that matchup. Okay, so that's the main deck. We are going to go over the really technical stuff now. And I need you to follow along with me. We are going to go ahead. And we are going to go into our, just here. And I'm going to show you exactly what you want to be setting up. Now, you need to pay very close attention to the setups I do, to the plays I make, because I'm going to help you out a ton. Alright. So this isn't the best hand, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so just passes.
I draw.
In this situation, if I was going first, or I could be going second, you have to notice things. First of all, you have a Farfin hand. Now this, if we're going first, we can just special summon it, attach it. That's fine. There are situations in the spot that I'm thinking immediately, I want to go full combo. Now, ignore this. Ignore that Barbar's here, because I'm going to play this like I'm going first. Alright? I'm going to ignore that Barbar's completely here, and I'm going to try to go full combo. If I want to go full combo, because I opened up Dark Eruption, I can mill for a tour guide. So a play that we could do is we can mill for tour guide, or we can mill to hit a Seer or a Rhino. If we hit Seer or Rhino, that's going to be really optimal, because that's going to allow us to go full combo and end on a Dante and a Beatrice, which is really, really good. Ideally, in some matchups, you want to end on Virgil Beatrice, but that's not always going to happen. Sometimes you're ending on Beatrice itself, depending on how many different names you're opening. So, assuming we open up these different names, you're probably asking, okay, I have so many names. Does it matter who I summon? And the answer is yes. Alright? And it's highly dependent on the matchup. Alright? So against something like Heroes, you want to have an Alec attached. And the reason why is one of the common plays that many hero decks do is they go Solid Soldier into Blaze Man. And if you're able to detach Alec, you're going to have the esteemed ability to Alec negate their Blaze Man. Now, how you're saying, how does that even work? And how do chains work? Well, let me explain. Alright? So very important is you have to realize that any effect you activate, so if you detach something off Beatrice, you're not activating Alec's effect directly. So while you cannot directly negate an effect, you can activate to negate an effect in a separate chain that occurs afterwards. Alright? So the first chain that you would have is them activating Solid Soldier, you chaining Beatrice. That's a chain. Alright? So after that, a second chain opens up. So you have a break and then you have a second chain. Now, because it's their turn and they have player priority, so because it's their turn, they're going to go chain link 1 on all their effects. Alright, unless there are mandatory effects involved. But in this case, we're going to keep the mandatory effects out. So they are going to be mandatory chain link 1. Alright, so if they were to activate something like Blaze Man, they're going to start chain link 1. Not you. After that, your Alec will be chain link 2. And because of that, you can now target the Blaze Man and negate its effects. Which is why we like going Alec in that matchup. Another matchup where Alec is really important is the Fluffle matchup. And that is because if they summon like a 6 attack Wolf, we want to negate that to prevent us from getting sacked. Especially if they're on the Supreme King's Castle skill, because they can easily get that thing over 3,000, 4,000 attack. Alright, so that's something we want to keep in mind. However, in this case, we're going to just pretend that that's not non-issue. We're not going up against any of those matchups. And what we're going to do is, in this case, ignoring the Barbar, we're going to summon Alec first.
I activate my monster's effect. I'll do this.
After this, we're going to special summon Libbit.
I activate my monster's effect now.
And it's like pretending we're going first here. Now, in this case, you're probably going to say, well, the same question I asked first, I just went over. What do I detach? And the answer to that is whatever you feel you need for the matchup. I can't indefinitely tell you in every situation what to detach because it's matchup dependent. And it also depends on your hand. Because there are some situations where you're going to open up Seer, and the answer, well, generally you're going to normal summon Seer, so that's going to be another issue altogether. But in some situations, you may open up a hand where you may say, okay, depending on this matchup, I want to keep Libic attached so I can summon for extra defense. And that can be important against something like Odd Eyes, right? So you may want to keep things in hand for an extra defense, just in case Dweller is not enough, or they don't go with the Dweller or whatever not. Sometimes that can come up. Rarely it does, but it can come up, so it's something that you want to keep in mind. In this case, I'm going to detach Libic, and pretending I have 4 cards in the hand, I'm going to look for a tour guide. Now, the only thing that sucks about this hand here, and you could have optionally summoned Farfa too, that was also an option. I should have probably summoned Farfa in this position, because then we're not going to really keep Libic on anyway, so we could have summoned Farfa here too, that's fine. It would have kept us a little bit more resources, but it's okay. Alright, it will still work out for us if we hit Seer, but it's better to summon Farfa if we hit Tour Guide specifically. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mill 3 here. Alright, so in this situation, we didn't hit anything that will help us go full combo. So all we're gonna do here is we're just gonna end on a Beatrice pass, and we're gonna get Farfa in the grave. So we do get a little bit punished, so we probably should have just summoned Farfa there first. And that's fine. Yeah. So that would have been better for us. So, ignore me summoning Alec there. Go Farfa. Alright, so, in this case, we're not going to activate any effects. We do have Scarm in the end phase. And we are going to detach, discard Farfa, summon Beatrice. Again, do not pay any attention to Barbar. Barbar does not exist. And we're just going to attack.
Now then, I'll attack.
And we're just gonna carry on. Now, in the end phase, you're probably saying, well, what do I grab off Scarm? In the case we have Beatrice, Tour Guide's good. If you feel you're gonna get sacked, Seer is good. Most of the time, I generally search Tour Guide, because Tour Guide's never a bad search. And it's really good here because we have Eruption in hand. If you end up keeping Eruption in hand, Tour Guide's good because then you can recycle it. Alright, so in this case here, we're gonna go Tour and go for lethal. Now, another thing you can do, you cannot do, is you cannot search Rhino in the end phase. That cannot happen. You are not allowed to search Rhino. Rhino is an Earth. Scar can only search level 3 or lower Dark Fiends. I mean level 3 Dark Fiends. Cannot search Rhino. Rhino is an Earth. So we're gonna go Dante, we're just gonna swing for game. Okay. Now, as soon as I get the hand for this, I'm going to show you what the optimal hand is to make against Salads. How do we play against Salads? Well, okay, good.
It's my turn.
If we hit a Rubik here, optimally against Salad, what you want to be doing turn 1 is you want to be setting up Virgil Beatrice. That's your ideal number 1 because that's going to put a lot of pressure on them. Turn 2, you could even go triple Dante on turn 2 with a Seer. Because if they negate the first, chances are you're going to mill something up going turn 2 that you haven't summoned. And you can triple Dante them with a Seer. Which is really good because you're going to put a lot of pressure on them, especially if they try to negate you with the counter trap. So going first here, we're going to normal Seer.
I'll do this.
Then in this case, we're just going to special summon Barbar. We don't need to special Alec. It's better to keep Alec attached if we can.
I special summon a monster.
And we're going to go ahead and summon Dante in defense.
Come out. I exceed summon a monster.
Next, we're going to Dante detach Seer and mill for 3.
I activate my monster's effect.
Perfect. Now, in this case, ignore that we mill Tour Guide. Not important. This is the Godfield. We're going to Seer, revive back Rubik. Then we're going to special summon Alec. And we're going to make Beatrice. I mean, Virgil. And then make Beatrice.
I synchro summon a monster.
And this will give us a Scarm search in the end phase.
Come out.
This is the Godfield against Salads. If you make this turn 1, this puts a lot of pressure on them. Because they're not going to be able to out-disport this easily. First of all, you have a reoccurring Virgil, which now they're going to have to deal with because they can spin their Wolf back in their deck. Now, ideally, what do I discard with Virgil? Ideally, it's going to be Seer. Because if they try to negate you with Roar, you can Seer revive and then use its effect again. So it's really good. Like, searching a Seer here is really good. We do have a Farf in the deck, and we do have triple Dante to recur that Seer. So searching a Seer here is okay. You can also go about searching another BA name. Searching Tour Guide, take back what I said search Seer. You can search Tour Guide in this case, because we have Seer in the grave to hit back off Dante. So, we can Dante it back Seer, and we can grab a Tour Guide here.
I activate my monster's effect.
Oh, well, we milled Tour Guide, so, you know. We could just grab another BA name. I'd like to keep a seer in the deck. I mean, I guess it's fine here. Yeah, we can add a seer here. Since
My
we're not on
turn
tour.
is done.
I draw. Show yourself. I set a card.
Alright. Now we can go. Now in the end phase, if they don't do anything, or you feel you never need to interrupt, you can even dump a Scarm. And this goes for any situation. If they don't do anything, if you feel your opponent's not doing anything, you could just dump a Scarm and keep searching.
That will not work.
Which is really good because then you're going to just keep the pressure on your opponent.
I end
It's
my
my
turn.
turn.
Alright,
I draw.
cool. Now, in this case, we could just go for lethal.
Come out. I summon I activate
We could
my
have Virgil
monster's
discarded
effect.
Barf, but that's fine too. I'm just showing the fact that we have lethal here.
This is.
And then we just attack for game.
Let's battle now. Then, my monster at farewell. My monster attacks.
Very good. So, turn 2 against Salad, you want to make triple Dante. Turn 1 against Salad, make that field. Because that field is going to put a lot of pressure on them. A lot. Alright. So, now that I showed you the God field, how do we win the mirror match? What's the mirror match like? Well, the mirror match comes down to wit and resource management. The best thing to do is, there are cases where you can lock them under Beatrice. If you overly swarm the field, that could be good too, because that's going to give them a lot of problems. You got to try to make them out your resources. And then you make it a lot more pressure on them to play optimally, more optimally than you are. So that's a really good way to deal with them. That's what I feel you should do in the mirror. Again, what are some other cool ways you can learn with this deck? Well, a really cool way is watch me live. I will be playing this a lot before the KC Cup. So if you want to see me play BA, make sure you watch me live. Also, we are going into the new box. So if you want to see me open up the new box, make sure you watch that live, okay? When we crack open the new box and prep for the KC Cup. Alright, now, alright, so there's a lot of great content coming up. I want you followed. Follow me on Twitch. Follow my boy Steven. We're going to both be doing things on there, Twitch. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. It's going to be a blast. Yeah, on both of our YouTubes. Both of our links will be in the description below. Until next time, it's your boy, Sean Matrai, signing out. Peace.